Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 3 of college football picks. Now, my computer is having a lot of problems, so I can't record anything on my computer. That's why there is no face cam, and it's like zoomed out a little bit. I'm trying to fix that on iMovie for NFL picks, but we still have the board, we still have our feature games, and we still have the top 10, and we still have everything you could ever want for college football picks. Now, how did we do last week? 20-6, a very good week for us last week. Overall, 41-13. I say we call that good. 76%, looking very good. Now, what happened to the QBS top 10? Well, Georgia and Alabama still 1-2. I have Georgia ahead of Alabama purely because of the fact that I think the Clemson win is better. And I mean, honestly, they're pretty much interchangeable. Oregon is at 3. They had a great win against number 3rd ranked in my poll and in the AP poll, Ohio State. Great win against Ohio State. Went into the horseshoe and beat them, so they're obviously going to move up a ton. And the same goes with number 4, Iowa. They went out and got a huge win against rival Iowa State. Not only does Iowa have 2 wins over ranked teams, they blew them out in both games. So, very impressive stuff from Iowa. I'm liking what I'm seeing from them. They look unstoppable with Spencer Petras. So, Oregon and Iowa looked very good. They make their deserving jump. They've looked like some of the best teams in the country. A&M stays at 5. Struggle win against Colorado. Haynes King, their quarterback, got hurt. And their backup, Zach Calzada, looked absolutely horrible. I mean, that guy looked terrible. It looked like he had never thrown a football before. But nonetheless, Texas A&M still able to get the win against Colorado. Defense was amazing. Only gave up 7 points. But that offense is going to need to figure it out if they want to win some tough SEC games. They got Bama coming up. Cincinnati at 6. Great win over Murray State. They stay at about the same range. At 7, Oklahoma. They haven't looked great. I mean, yeah, you beat Western Carolina 76-0. My high school team could do that. I'm going to keep them there. Penn State at 8. They jump into the top 10. Great win over Wisconsin. It was some teams ahead of them losing. They jump up. And then Clemson and Ohio State are at 9 and 10. They both have a loss. They're going to need to prove me a little bit to get back up near that top 5 range. I'm not just going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I think now we need to look at your MVP of the week. And your MVP of the week came from the Miami and App State game. Take a look. So a cat found its way to the upper deck, got into a pretty precarious situation, dangling by a wire running along the base of the upper deck, and fans with an American flag catch the cat, saving its life. I know cats always land on their feet, but that's like a 40-foot fall. That's huge. So, shout out to the people with the American flag who saved the cat. You guys are the MVPs of the week. Very nicely done, folks. That was amazing. Now it's time for your clowns of the week. Now there were some interesting cases for clown of the week. But a lot of people are going to say Texas. Yeah, they got road graded by Arkansas on the road. But here's what I'm going to go with as my clown of the week. I'm going to say that USC is your clown of the week. They got not only beaten, they got road graded at home by a terrible Stanford team. A Stanford team that got blown out by a Stanford team that got blown out by Kansas State. Terrible Stanford team, and USC got blown out, and they fired Clay Helton today. Firing your coach in week 2. Yikes, USC is in some trouble there. USC clowns of the week. You guys need to get your stuff together. I was never a big fan of USC going into the season. They just proceeded to prove me right. But now let's get into some picks, shall we? Nebraska and Oklahoma. This game will get ugly. Nebraska, they're just not good at all. They lost to Illinois in week 0. And then they beat Fordham, great. And I don't even know if they played last week. I can't even remember. It doesn't matter. They got to face Oklahoma and Spencer Rattler, and this game's going to be bad. This is a rivalry game of some sorts, and they never play. Kind of like Arkansas and Texas, they never play, so when they play, it means more. Oklahoma's going to come out and beat them by 1,000,000 points. Like Scott Frost is going to get fired at the end of this year. This game will be ugly. Texas A&M and New Mexico. Now, I want to see Zach Calzada do well because he did not do well against Colorado, and if he's going to need to develop quickly in these next few games, they want to beat Alabama. So, I mean, they play New Mexico. They should win, but really look to see if Zach Calzada can improve his throwing game. Cincinnati and Indiana. Now, Indiana obviously beat the bejesus out of Idaho last week. Same with Murray State losing to Cincinnati. Cincinnati needs this game to make the college football playoff. This is one of the two biggest games on Cincinnati's schedule. They got this game and Notre Dame coming up. And, I mean, Desmond Ridder, they bring out Desmond Ridder on a great defense. And Indiana has not looked great this year, got blown out by Iowa. I expect Cincinnati to come into this game and handle their own. They're playing really, really well. They're going to get up for this game. They know they need to win. I expect Cincinnati to get a win. Pretty big, too. I'm going to say big for Cincinnati. I think they're going to come out and take care of business. Virginia Tech and West Virginia. West Virginia lost to Maryland. Not looking great this year. Give me the Hokies. Aren't they ranked? I think they're ranked. Coastal Carolina and Buffalo. This could be a trap game of sorts for Coastal Carolina, having to go on the road away from the teal turf. But I think they should be able to win with Grayson McCall and that good defense. They're climbing in the rankings. What are they now, 16 or 17? They're getting up there. Maybe they'll find themselves in the top 10 sooner or later if some teams ahead of them keep losing. Michigan State and Miami. All right, Miami came out and got killed by Alabama. You're like, all right, not that big of a deal. But you know who played better against Alabama than Miami did? Mercer. Mercer played better against Alabama than Miami did. That's concerning. And Michigan State looked really good against Northwestern and obviously beat the bejesus out of Youngstown State. I think Michigan State's going to come down and get themselves a win. They can run the ball really well. And plus, Miami struggled with an inferior App State team. This isn't the App State team that went out and beat Michigan. They're not as good. So I think Michigan State is looking better. I think they'll win. Michigan. Now, Northern Illinois shocked the world by beating Georgia. Actually, no, Georgia Tech's a horrible team. And then they were down by like 30 points against Wyoming, came back furiously and tied the game. But it wasn't enough at the end. Wyoming proceeded to go out, get some scores, and ended up winning. So, I mean, yeah, Wyoming went out and won that game. I think Michigan should get it done at home. Here is your Quincy Bell Sports Upset Pick of the Week. I have the Purdue Boilermakers beating Notre Dame. Now, this would be bad for Cincinnati if Purdue wins because they need Notre Dame to be really good to help their strength of schedule. So this would be really, really bad for Notre Dame. Really bad for Cincinnati if Purdue wins this. But, I mean, Notre Dame won by 3 in overtime. Miracle 3-point overtime win against a terrible Florida State team. My God, a Florida State team that lost to Jacksonville State on a Hail Mary. Terrible Florida State team. And then they went out and won by 3. Miracle come from behind. Last second drive against Toledo. My goodness, Notre Dame just looks terrible. Purdue went out and beat a decent Oregon State team. And then they went out and they killed UConn. Purdue's looking really good right now. I'm going to take the Boilermakers, and Purdue fans will travel to this game. It's very close. I've heard some people say that there's going to be a ton of Purdue fans at this game. And I think they're going to come in. They look a lot better than Notre Dame. I think they'll win. That's my upset pick. Iowa should have no problems with Kent State. Clemson, my goodness. Last time they played Georgia Tech, they beat them by 70 points. Georgia Tech already lost to Northern Illinois this year. And I think it's going to be more of the same. Clemson big. Same thing with Ohio State and Tulsa. Tulsa lost to FCS. I think they lost to like UC Davis or someone. So I think that Ohio State should be able to get a nice, easy win over Tulsa. Georgia Southern against Arkansas. Arkansas should hold their own at home. Georgia and South Carolina. Now, the last time South Carolina came to Athens, they won. They beat. What am I talking about? They beat Georgia when they were in the top 5. I think that's not going to happen this year. Georgia's going to win. Oregon plays Stony Brook. Didn't even know Stony Brook had a football team. Aren't they in, like, New England area? They're going to have to go all the way to Oregon. That's going to be a murder. Virginia, North Carolina. North Carolina lost to them last year. I think they get their revenge this year. Give me UNC. Ole Miss and Tulane. Tulane looked good against Oklahoma. I think they can maybe hold their own. Because, oh my God, this guy from the Ravens just jumped up like he got an interception. He literally picked the ball up off the ground and he tried to pass it off as an interception. That's hilarious. His whole teammates came to like congratulate him too. That's funny. But yeah, Ole Miss, I think, should end up getting it on the win. Iowa State, man, did they look bad against Iowa? Jeez, couldn't get anything on offense. Breece Hall fumbled for a touchdown for Iowa. I mean, it was just bad. This could be a tough game coming off an emotional bad loss. I'm going to have to go all the way to Las Vegas to play the Rebels of UNLV, but UNLV's not a great team. Hell, they have Tate Martell as their quarterback. That should be all you need to know, that they're not a great team. So give me Iowa State. Arizona State, BYU. This was almost a featured game. This is a sneaky good game. BYU beat a ranked Utah last week, and they looked really good doing so. Tyler Algier was running all over the place, and they beat Utah. Now they get to host another Pac-12 team in Arizona State. I think Arizona State's a little bit better, though. I think Arizona State's going to edge this one out on the road, but this is going to be a really good game. I'm excited for that one. Fresno State, UCLA. I think UCLA should win, man. They're getting up there on the rankings. Look at Chip Kelly on the outskirts of the top 10. Who would have thought that to start this season? They should be able to beat Fresno State. Fresno State did give Oregon some problems, so maybe. I don't know. I can't read the next game. Oh, Minnesota and Colorado. The thing's blocking it. I'm going to take Colorado. They looked really good. Again, well, their defense looked really good against Texas A&M. And this is going to be a close game at home. Defensive battle, I think, but I think Colorado gets it. And Boise State and Oklahoma State. I'm going to take Boise State. Oklahoma State has struggled to start this year. Boise State at home on the blue turf. Tough environment for some teams that don't play there a lot. I think they're going to show up for a Power 5 team coming to visit them. I think Boise State's going to win this one. So now we have the featured games. First one is Auburn and Penn State. Now, I think Penn State only has one whiteout game a year. I think they can do more than one if they want to, but I think it's usually one game a year, night game. And I think this is it. I think this is going to be their whiteout game, so fans are going to turn up really big for that game. You don't see many Big Ten, SEC home and homes. Man, I can't wait till Ohio State and Alabama have a home and home. That's in like 2026, though. But Penn State fans are going to show out, and they've looked good to start this year. They had a great defensive showing and won at Camp Randall against the Badgers. They looked really good in doing so, and they're rolling with momentum, and they're going to have a big home advantage. Now, Auburn, I'm not a believer in Bo Nix. I just don't think he's that great, but they have a good defense, and they've looked good. Granted, it's been against, who did they play last week? Alabama State, the Hornets, and who did they play week 1? I can't even remember. They play Kent State or someone? I can't remember. But they beat the bejesus out of them both times. That's really all you can ask for them. And they found themselves to be ranked. This is going to be a tough game. Now, Auburn's got a new coach. Who do they got? They got that guy from, no, I forget who they have as their new coach, but it's going to be tough for a new coach in this environment. I just don't think that the Tigers are going to have enough to win this game. So give me Penn State. Now, Alabama and Florida. Now, this game has been anticipated for a long time. Florida fans think they got a shot. And I think if some things come together for them, they will have a chance to win this game. Now, here's the big thing for Florida. It's at home. Alabama doesn't come to the Swamp much because it's a East versus West matchup, so it's been a long time since they've been to the Swamp. So that's what you got a good going for you. You're going to be at home. Alabama, they are beatable. I know it seems like they're not. It seems like they're literally immortal. They are beatable. They are able to be beaten. What is Florida going to need to do? Well, they're going to need to get a really good defensive performance, which I'm not so confident in. Their defense has not looked great. But they're also going to need a good offensive performance. Now, their quarterback, Emory Jones, has looked, let's just say, underwhelming. Did not blow anyone away against Florida Atlantic or South Florida, which have been their two games this year. But you know who has looked great is Anthony Richardson. If you look at this guy, he looks dazzling. Now, the fact that Dan Mullen keeps choosing the wrong Anthony Richardson should be the starter. He's looked amazing, but Dan Mullen wants to start Emily Jones. I don't know what he's doing there. But if Anthony Richardson either starts this game or plays a significant number of snaps, I think that Florida will have a chance because Bama, no one's immune to a elite dual-threat, game-changing quarterback. Does Johnny Manziel ring a bell? He went around and knocked out Bama twice. This could be the Anthony Richardson coming out party, and it could be a really close game if Florida plays their cards right. If they get a couple big plays at home, I think they're going to be able to make it close. I just don't see them having enough in the end of the game, so I'm going to take Alabama. I think they're going to end up winning. I think A&M and maybe... I think A&M and Georgia are going to have a better chance to beat Alabama. I just don't think Florida has what it takes. Maybe they do. Who knows? I'll definitely be watching this game and rooting for Florida. But we'll see what happens with this game. I do think Alabama's just going to end up being too much. I just don't trust that defense. But I hope you guys enjoyed this picks video. I will see you tomorrow probably for NFL picks. Tomorrow or Wednesday will be NFL picks. I did bad week 1 on my picks. Man, my picks did horribly. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.